video is okay?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
All right.
You are fine. Okay, well, let's do a mic check here. Check audio and make sure everything is good. Looks good. I think it's just loading. Check mic. Mic. Got some people in the chat. Faraday, Evans, and Lotus. We should be live, so maybe there's just a delay. Can you guys hear us? Let me check my YouTube. See if it's streaming. Hello? I think it's going. Oh, yeah, I think so. All right, here we go. Yep. Hey, can you hear us, Evans? Okay, awesome. All right, so hey, I'm not gonna mess around here. We're not gonna waste a lot of time. I have Lenny here from Try Mirror, and basically, Lenny created a plugin, or has a plugin called YouDraper, which pretty much lets you dress metahumans. And honestly, one of the biggest problems with metahumans is really the lack of clothing, right? So, yeah, today what we're gonna do is pretty much he's gonna show you how to install YouDraper, and where I usually get my clothes from is ArtStation, Marvelous Design, and CeeLo or Clo, whatever whatever other ones you have. But yeah, can you hear me, Lenny?
Yes, I hear you, and thank you very much for having me.
Okay, cool.
Listen. Okay.
So
Do I need to? Do I need because?
yeah, I can see
Okay.
that screen. You might want to close that one.
Yeah. Do I need to follow the chat?
No,
Or
no, no. I got the chat. I got the chat. So do
okay.
you
Super.
you just do your thing, and
All right.
I'll cover the chat. I'll cover the chat for you.
All right, Jay. Okay. Again, thanks so much for arranging it. It's great. Eventually, get in touch with you. So hopefully you will be a believer today.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So as you said, let's try to go all the steps till the final result. So you go to youdraper.com, you click subscribe your plan for now because I'm already logged in as myself and I'm already a customer. So it gives me just pay 29 right away. But if you are a new user, you will get this for free. You need to log in, create your account. Everything's pretty much straightforward. Add to cart, and probably it won't allow me to do two items at once. So let's remove one. Okay, and from here you go checkout. You give your PayPal or your credit card and use it free for 1 month, and then we'll charge you. Don't forget to unsubscribe to avoid payments if you don't like. Okay, and then you will get an email in your spam folders, most probably, but probably not. And there you will get a link to download and some instructions what to do with it. So I already have it on my computer, all bunch of different versions. This is the latest version, so let's start it. Agree, and here it's actually interesting thing to pay attention to. It will show you all possible Unreal Engine versions that you may have on your computer. And some people install it manually, not using Epic, whatever it called, Epic Game Launcher. So it might not showing in this list. Don't be afraid. There is instruction how to install it manually from your computer after installation is complete. Redistributable packages, it's some MSN libraries, Microsoft libraries, and basically that's it. I will uncheck it just to save some time, but you, for the first time, you keep it. Okay, next, select location, install. While it's installing it, it will install it. So I have it here. It's installing it in program file 3D Draper right here. Still installing. And then here you can see that it copies plugin files to Epic plugins folders. Okay, done. At this, because I already have it registered, so it skipped this phase. But if you're doing it for the first time, it will ask you for your license ID, and you will get this license ID in this magic email. And so you enter it, activate it, and if everything's okay, you're good to go. So if for some reason your Unreal Engine version is not listed in this installation list, it's actually going to be here. So you see program files, 3D Draper, you go UE, and all copies of Unreal Engine plugin will be here. You go to, like, say, 5.0 Draper, and what you need to do now is to find your Unreal Engine copy. Let's see here, program files, Epic Games 5.0, engine, plugins, and all you need to do is just to drag this guy here. Boom. Uh, okay, replace, skip, whatever. So it will copy it to your Unreal Engine plugin folder, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go and launch our Unreal Engine, and I'll start with my project. By the way, everybody's hearing me okay? My screen, everything's okay?
Yeah,
How's everybody
it's
doing?
good. It's good. I was
Okay,
checking in the chat.
good. Yep,
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, while this is loading, 5.02, I actually just installed this recently. But yeah, is this what I'm hoping to do is actually have my own closet or costumes in YouDraper, because again, using marvelous design clothes, obviously we're gonna have some limitations, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But for majority of the clothes, for me at least, I think I can probably start using YouDraper instead of having to rig the clothes manually, which is super difficult. So, but yeah, go ahead. Did it
Oh,
load up yet?
it's starting.
Okay. So well, I'll talk about a little
But
bit more. So basically, Lenny and I were talking last year, and it was asking me about some clothes and stuff. And I love cyberpunk, so I kind of sent him a bunch of the clothes that I have that I wanted, and he said, "Yeah, let's go check it out to see if it works." And this is actually one of them right now. Are you doing the cop first, Lenny?
well, I'm trying to open it. Okay,
Yeah.
so because I because I wanted to do like a clean installation, so I had some clothes on the guy, but because I turned the plugin off, it gave me a bunch of um, errors. So okay, so for you guys who's starting it for the first time, you just go to your plugins, go to Draper, and enable it. And obviously, you need to restart now. Going to restart. Meantime, actually, I wanted to, let's see. Okay, I guess I open my Outlook and uh, no, I think it doesn't like Chrome.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't open your email, man. It's personal stuff
why?
in it.
Oh, come on.
Hey, what's up,
I have not.
Style?
I have nothing to
You
hide.
have nothing to hide
Oh,
but clothes, right? Hey, what's up,
okay.
Style? Yeah. So
Don't worry about it. Okay. Anyway, so what I'm just trying to say that in this email with activation code and all other instructions, there is a link to OneDrive storage of all sorts of garments that we created with 3D Draper that you can use. But let's skip it for now. Let's focus on Marvelous Designer and how you can actually use Marvelous Designer ready to wear clothes. Okay. So all right. So here we see that my YouDraper plugin is active. My clothes are back. So I can now go to Marvelous Designer and show how I did it. Okay. So Jay actually asked me to do this particular outfit. Come on. Can we see it bigger? No. I just wanted to make it bigger, but anyway.
Yeah, we can see it. It
So,
looks good.
okay. So then we download it. So this police suit, and let's open the original file, the one that we downloaded from ArtStation. That one, I think. So I actually did several steps to work with this project. Here it is. Okay. So this guy obviously is too tall if we compare it with Metahuman. So how do we get Metahuman avatar here? This is our usual workflow. So let's say we have Metahuman, Jesse, and well, so let's start from the beginning. I will delete everything. No pants, no shirt, no tie, no vest, Draper simulation, Draper collider, that's it. Okay, so what we need to do is to start with body and to add collider. We start typing Draper collider, select collider. We introduced this component because MetaHuman consists of two different meshes, one for the head and one for the body. And we need to, put them together. Now, uh, pay attention that Draper collider is parent to the body, not because many people make this mistake. They just drop Draper collider into MetaHuman blueprint, and then they getting errors. So just make sure that Draper collider parented to the body. And let's build this collider. What we need to do is just to add two components. Okay, and here I add Jesse. Hmm? It will be easy to do like this. Male, medium, normal body, and just drag and drop here. Okay, and special attention to the feet. We may use different one because I want to. Um, no, not in this tutorial. When we're using like sneakers or some other custom-made shoes, then I would use full fit. But this one is fine for now. And also pay attention, please, to a number of polygons because so LOD 0 has 26. It's pretty high. And I usually recommend use LOD 1. You see it, you immediately drop to 7,000 vertices. But I do not recommend go to LOD 2 because with LOD 2, the body differ a lot comparing to the LOD 0 that we actually display. Okay, so here I select one, LOD 1 we're going to use for collider. And here we want to select mesh, Jesse. This is the mesh. And for the face or head, I use LOD 3. I found it suitable. So actually, the higher LOD number, the better from collision point of view. But if you go too high, like LOD 4 or 6, the shoulders will differ from LOD 0 a lot, and you will see this difference with your clothes. And sometimes I even go and simplify entire head mesh, removing ears, removing eyes, mouth, everything, to make it as simple as possible to bring the number of polygons down. But that's for another discussion. All right, so this is our collider. Let's save it. I'm a fan of saving everything before it crashes. All right, this is our collider. Now we're going to add simulation. Draper simulation. All right, and for now we don't do anything except because we're going to export this model. I want this model to be in specific pose because this pose is not good for fitting clothes. So I want to animation asset, and so if we clear it, this is the kind of default pose. Okay. Am I talking too much, Jay? Tell me if I'm going into too much details, even if you want me to go faster.
No, dude,
All
you're
right.
fine. You're fine. I mean, honestly, like I
Okay.
said, this is for people who are starting out. So, honestly, yeah, the the more the better at this
Okay.
point.
Super. Super.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying is that this is default metahuman pose, but I'm not big fan of this pose because it has bent elbows. So I created a very simple pose with straight or almost straight hands, arms. So let's go to
Yeah,
his
I
body.
hate that post too, man.
Mhm. Well, it's okay, but if you have long, narrow sleeves, then it's a pain to fit it. So I'm going to select. I call it fitting two. So all it does is just straighten the arms. All right. So this is the avatar we want to export as a collider. So in Draper simulation, we're going to export collider. Just one note about it. If we're going to another way to build this character with all these components is to go to the blueprint actually and add these components in the blueprint. I already created this child blueprint. Okay, come on. Yeah, that one. So you can actually add all these components right here. So as you can see, I have body, I added collider, blah, blah, blah. The problem that blueprint user interface is different and there is no export collider buttons or import anything. So you can add and configure your components in blueprint, but then actually to access all these buttons, unfortunately, you need to go to your scene, and here you will have these buttons. They are not available in the blueprint, and sometimes people asking me where are these buttons? They are here
So
in the
that's
scene.
that's actually part of your plugin then, right? The export.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool, cool.
yes. It's part of plugin, but the user interface is different, and for some reason we only have it here.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so what we do now, we export. Don't be afraid of this message. It's kind of heritage message because we didn't handle all sorts of possible avatars with different structure, mesh structure. So this is just an information. So it's not an error. Maybe we need to change this exclamation point not to be so scary. So basically just say yes to all and you're good to go. And let's export it somewhere. Um, so I have this folder plugin, a whole bunch of. So let's call it male, medium, normal weight, body fitting two, and just to be honest, create a new one, fitting 2B. Okay, great. Now we're going to back here. And in order for us to actually refit automatically this clothes, we need to start anew, remove this guy, and import our avatar that we just exported. So again, this is where I saved it, plugin, and this is our avatar. Please pay attention to centimeters scale. So we need to keep this centimeters all the time. And okay, this is our guy. This is our JC. All right, so next step would be to create, because we want to automatically refit the clothes from the previous tall Marvelous designer avatar. So this one is much shorter, and Marvelous, they have this auto refit functionality. So how it goes like this. You click here and you specify where your different things located. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just showing that, something like that. That would be your upper neck. Then you create lower neck. So it's actually pretty fast. And it will create some sort of area, so a suit eventually. And you select waist. It will create some sort of fitting suit like this, and then you proceed with other parts. I already have this avatar, so I will skip it. Oh, would you like me to continue, Jay? Do you think it's worth continuing?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
I think so. I mean,
I'm not doing.
is it just getting all those pretty much lined up?
Yeah, you just specify where different areas of your avatar correspond to different.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's fine as long as if you think people can follow if you skip over to
yeah,
the
yeah,
finished
yeah.
one. Yeah,
This is not my kind of area. It's Marvelous Designer. They have this tutorial and
I got you.
documentation how to create it. So what it's gonna do? So now, oh, actually, look, I made a mistake. So wrist, actually, it's not here. Wrist is here. I was ahead of myself. So
Nah,
let's
it's
say
all
this
good.
is okay. So this is wrist. Now elbow. Here you can be more accurate. I'm doing it like a little bit too fast. So what is it's going to do is to create some sort of um, fit suit, like your, I don't know, wetsuit, right? That would actually, fit tight on the avatar body once you specify all these different areas. So now shoulders, you know, something like that, like this.
That's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, so very, very, very fast actually once you get a hold of it. What next? Upper thigh. Okay, upper thigh. Usually it means it's about 1 inch below your buttocks or your avatar buttocks, of course. Something like that. Okay, looks good. Then it creates symmetrical one. And the knee. Okay. Okay. Ankle. Okay. This is it. And if you're not satisfied with, like, for example, you have not very symmetrical avatar, you turn your symmetry off and you adjust your, it was left, right, right, left, right, whatever. And then apply. Okay, look at this. So that's it. My neck is a little bit off, but that's okay. All right, and that's it. And now we need to save this thing as avatar. Save as save. Right. So I clicked save, and it suggests me to save my avatar. So I'm going. I already did a couple of them. So this one, avatar 3, save. And now this avatar is actually ready to be used in automatic fitting. So what do we do now is to open our recent project, police guy, and actually we can add, and we don't need the avatar. Here we go.
That's one of the good things about buying, because they actually usually most of the time they send you the Marvelous file, right?
Yes,
That's good.
indeed. Okay. Now, now we need to turn our creativity on. Well, first of all, Marvelous recommends when you do refitting, for some reason, you have this 5 millimeters particle distance, which is too small. And Marvelous actually recommend for auto fitting to switch to 20. So it will be faster. So we're waiting for it to switch to 20. Then we don't need to do anything with the cap, right? Because cap is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
closed.
yeah. The cap you can just bind it if you
Right.
really need it. Yeah.
Exactly. You can just attach it to socket. So that's what I did with my guy.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
cap is just static mesh attached to the socket. Okay. So go ahead and remove this cap. Um, okay, let's remove it. And there is this shield. Delete it as well. Okay, we're ready to go. Well, now I just select this thing, and here's auto fitting button. So I just press it, and it's supposed to auto fit it. And we can talk about something else while we wait. Any questions so far, guys?
No, everything's good. They were just talking about
Okay.
Marvelous design and stuff. Somebody asked, you do have some clothes in there built in, but I was just telling them that Marvelous Designs, we're doing this because Marvelous Designs, they have a lot of good ones for cheap online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the clothes that I have, um, we created them using our 3D Draper. Let's take a look while we're waiting. So this is our 3D Draper, and I have a bunch of clothes, and many of them are available to download. But they are currently in this 3D Draper format. So, for instance, let's see. I have something for plugin.
So let me just clarify this real quick, Lenny. So this right here comes with the plugin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this application, it's like a bundle, right? You have this application and plugins. All right.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So what do we have here? Like for example, okay, some dresses. This one is quite popular, so let's open it. Actually, that was Collider exported before, and so when you save it or when you open existing file, it already comes with Collider. So you can actually undrape it and change your, let's see, import obj, okay, plugin. So I have a bunch of different. So let's see, ftool, this one. Okay, let's try that. It's a character, centimeters, everything's good. Okay. And again, this information about your avatar. All right, so this is another avatar. It's again made from Metahuman. It can be any other uh, CC3, CC4, doesn't matter. So you can adjust positions, you can modify your entire scale of your avatar. So it's pretty much like Marvelous, not as maybe advanced as Marvelous, but there are a few things that might be useful in the future. And then you start the simulation. Okay, so this way we drape it. Here we have all bunch of different fabrics with textures. This is just very quick view. And while it's running, we can go ahead and export as a garment, specify where you want to export it. And once you export it, it's ready to be brought into Unreal Engine and simulate that. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now. Let's see here. Magic. Look at this. So we don't need our 3D Draper. We close this one. So look at this. I think it's cool. So we have our suit refit to this new avatar. So from here, you can do just small adjustments. I see that these tags and shield a little bit off. This color a little bit off, but in principle, from now you can actually export it as is. So the only thing before we export, we need to take a look at UV editor. That's important. Okay, because when you import it as OBJ file and want to reuse all these textures, you need to bake them, and you need to bake them in the first quadrant.
Hey Lenny, question real
Yes.
quick. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's say export from Marvelous as OBJ, then export to UE. Can you texture in Substance? And can you
Yes.
import
Yes.
textures in UE?
Yes.
Yeah, you told me
Yes.
you can, right? Yeah.
Yes, of course. But in this experiment, if you want to reuse, because the idea of buying something from ArtStation is to use the artwork completely, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, if you want to reuse this artwork, you need to squeeze everything into the first quadrant, and you do it like this, fit all, and it's terrible because the resolution will be horrible, of course. That's one of the reasons when I separate everything to separate garments. So what I do from here, I save it 4 times or 5 times, how many garments we have here, and then I export each one separately. So let's see, because I already did it before, so I'm going to, we don't want to save this one. Okay, so for this police suit, I created 5. Oh, cup is not garment. Anyway, so let's say we start with shirt. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the vest. Anyway, so I saved it as separate project, and I want to open with avatar. Okay. So basically, what I did, I just removed everything and add and only keep what I want to do, what I want to keep for this particular garment. So this
That
vest, for example.
I would wear that, to be honest, if I was a cop.
Mm,
Just like that.
okay. All right. So here we have our UV map. Now it's much better looking. The only thing, keep in mind, I actually skip very important step. I do not run any animation anymore or any simulation anymore. You need to get back to your, let's stress on this thing, because it's very important when you import OBJ file into Unreal, the clothes should be fit well, and they should fit also not just on avatar, but on other clothes as well. So for instance, because this vest is topmost garment, and we have like tie underneath, we have a shirt underneath, so everything should fit perfectly, because if we start simulation now, the position of the vest will change, and then it will be a mess with the shirt and the tie. So I jumped through this step. Go back let's go back for a second. So I missed this step. I want to make sure that my suit fits well everywhere. So I see some problem here with the color, but I probably already fixed it. Anyway, so as you can see, I fixed the shield, I fixed the belt with the buckle. So everything should fit. From this moment, I do not start any simulation. Once I happy with every garment in this suit. Probably I fixed this color as well. So let's go back now to my previous. Where is it? Recent vest. Okay. So then I make sure all the textures are located in the first quadrant, including all these trims and 3D objects like this. You see this shield, this tag, all the buttons, everything. Everything should be in first quadrant. And after that, we just go and export OBJ. Okay, police suit. This is my vest. And we just say, okay, vest 00 something 3. Okay. We don't need to export our avatar. And if you want it to be as is, we want to select thick fabric. Now let me check what will be exported as well. All the buttons, buttonholes, top stitch, fine, trim. Okay, looks good. And then in unified UV coordinates, we need to select diffuse map and try to export everything. But in fact, Marvelous Designer only will export you diffuse and normal map. I don't know why they give you these options. It won't work. Then I usually put here 196 for better resolution. Sorry, for 4096, right? For the map. I didn't try 8000. I don't know why. I'm just scared. Okay, centimeters. And we want to save it in zip file with all the textures. Okay, that's it. Sweet. Are we good so far? Everybody's happy?
Yeah, except
Because
for Rudy, he's not happy. No, I'm just joking. Yeah,
why?
everyone's good.
Okay, good. All right, so here's our exported zip file. Let's extract it. Here we go. So we're getting these 4 files. So OBJ itself, diffuse map, and normal map. And that's a shame because there are other maps there. There is a roughness map, metallic map. For some reason, it doesn't export it. But what we can do for the future is to go fabrics. Let's see. Does it have anything else here? Anyway, so if you click somewhere here, it will show you all possible maps that are available in this model. Okay, so it's stored somewhere in temporary directory, just in case. Maybe it's not necessary, but just in case, I copy this directory and then I go to my vest exported folder and I just save it here, just in case. Maybe I would decide that I need some of these maps that I'm missing.
Hey, Lenny.
So
Also,
yeah,
it's not 100% that they will include that, right? Like you have to check in the description if the seller have all that included, because I've seen some that don't come with textures, right? So that's not like an automatic thing that they're gonna be there.
no. No. It's whatever they include in there.
Gotcha. All
It's
right. Yeah, I just want to make it clear. I don't want people to buy and they're like, "Where's all the maps?" Okay, I gotcha.
right. Well, again, we are just doing like simple, straightforward conversion, but Probably, all of you who has their own ideas, you can use Substance Designer or Quixel for your own materials or create your own materials. Even with Substance, what was it? I have it here. It was called Substance Source. Now it's called Adobe Substance Sampler.
Gotcha.
You
All
can
right.
actually download from huge library of all different materials from Substance and use these materials instead of those provided with you know OBJ or Marvel's Designer file. All right. Okay. Super. Now we're going to. So we exported it. I usually see what actually we exported instead of just doing blindly importing it. I want to see what's in there. I'm using Maya, but obviously you can use whatever you're using. Blender Max. Okay, so here our vest. And it's a monster. Okay, I knew it will be a monster. I wanted to show. It has almost a million. Oh no, half a million, 600,000.
That looks good
But
though.
well, I don't know if it's good or not. I'm very cautious about number of polygons.
Oh yeah.
It's my old habit. And so what actually creates this huge amount of polygons? And I think it's these stitches. Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and export as is with all the stitches and all the other stuff. But in my experience, it's only visible when you get really close to your avatar. Okay. But from the distance, you won't see it. So why do we need to use it and reduce our performance just because of these tiny stitches? So what you can do, you can switch here to stitches, top stitch, go here and make sure that instead of OBJ, you use texture. All right, here as well, texture. So this way you actually go ahead and export another one. You see, I already experimented vest no stitch. Let's do another one. Vest no stitch 2. Okay, just repeat the same stuff. We want it thick, everything the same. Okay. Okay. So this one. All right. So let's compare. Ah, sorry. Accidentally double click on it. All right. So this one is almost 10 times less vertices. See this, right? So if I hide this one, okay. So without stitches, it's just 57,000, and with the stitches is 366. Doesn't matter. So like 6, 7 times more. All right, just because of the stitches. All right, you feel me, guys? Get rid of the stitches.
No stitches.
Anyway, sorry.
I said no stitches.
Well, that's just to give you a heads up because people want to have the highest possible quality, but it comes with a cost of performance. All right, so be aware that certain elements are not needed at all. All right, so good. So this way I exported all bunch of garments for this presentation. So we have police suit, we have so vest you just saw. I have a shirt, all different kinds of exports. I'll show you the difference between them. Pants, also different kind of necktie, and the belt. So we're good to import them right here. I don't need this one for now. So what we're gonna do now is just to add garments to our simulation component. So you see, it's like, like a tree collider, Draper simulation component. Now we're going to add garment, Draper garment, and we can call it pants. Pants. It will complain. Let's say pants 3. Next, we're going to import, doesn't matter, another garment. Call it belt. Again, remember, they all fit together and they all fit to avatar because in OBJ format, we don't have any information about physics. It's just geometry. So it's solid geometry. It should all fit nicely, like a glove, everything. All right, so next, shirt. Sorry, again, ahead of myself. Garment. Garment and call it shirt. Shirt 3. Another one, garment, and it would be tie. Tie 3. And the last one, vest. Garment. We call it vest. Put it into wrong position. Ah, vest 3. Sweet. Save it, just in case. All right, let's start adding our garments here. So would you like me to import, heavy stuff with all the stitches and see the, so you can see the difference in performance? I guess
No,
it
just
might be.
yeah, just do the one that you know it's not gonna crash. Cause I want,
No, no,
yeah,
it's not going to crash, but you will see how bad the performance is.
yeah. I mean, sure.
But
I mean, people. I think people already know more poly is gonna be like terrible performance, but that's up to you, man.
right, okay, um, okay. About performance, this particular thing we just released recently because Style Marshall suggested that it would be good, and we had all the thing already done. So here we go. Um, but this is just we still call it experimental because it was very quick without any optimization. So the performance is not the best. There is still room to improve the performance and do some other interesting stuff to do it faster and better. So if you're not satisfied with performance, uh, i I would still like to hear back from you, and maybe if there will be enough people, maybe we will look into increasing performance and optimizing it. Okay, having said that, let's go ahead and pants. Okay, pants, I think this one. Okay, let's try this one. So original ones with all the stitches, it was this one. And it was pretty large file, 35 almost megabytes. And this one I already removed stitches, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, it's much smaller, only 6 megabytes. Great. Okay, select. And it will suggest you location where to store the imported files. I just put something like that. Now, texture, we want texture to be imported instead of skip. Although if you're going to use your own materials, you can use skip. There is a possibility to use as a reference materials and textures, but I mean, it will import it faster, but later it will be slower to, if you're going to modify something, it will slow it down. So we're going to compress, disable close simulation. There is no close simulation with this approach. Skip validation, again, experimental. You can click it. For Marvelous and Claw, validation will stand because we're looking that it's Marvelous or Claw, but for other sources or for BJ file, you need to select skip validation. And I recommend using skip unreferenced materials because sometimes we notice that different programs, like for example, Character Creator, export all, and does as well export also all the materials for avatars, and we don't need them. They will just, give us more entries that are completely unused. Okay, so we and it will give you notice that there won't be any physical data. Simulation will be disabled. Good. Yay! Look at this. Isn't it nice? So what's happening here? We have our pens. Now this folder contains imported data. It's not an OBJ file anymore. It's imported data in our own format. Let's take a look. So if we go to pens and this, where is it? Here. So this is the location where we stored just imported data, and it's our own format. So we include the texture in DDS format and some other binary data for this model. Okay. And as you can see here, you have it's enabled, simulation is off. You won't be able to turn it on. It will tell you um, there is no simulation data available. But what we want actually to do with these pens is enable wrapping. And to enable wrapping, you need to click Save. And you will see the wrap is on. And that's actually what's going to drive your garment on this avatar. So it's similar to Maya wrapping. Each face or triangle of the pens has a reference on the body, and it will be moved together with the body.
Wait, Lenny,
Yes.
that's already rigged. That's already on the body.
Yeah, it's already on the body. Now, if I'll move the body, the pens will move with the body. So here's how it goes. So okay. Let's turn wrapping off for now.
Yeah.
And if now I'm going and change the where is it? Sorry, body. If I'll use another pose, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay. So if I change the pose, the clothes stays because it's rigid. But if I enable my wrapping, okay, it will be like this.
Whoa, that's crazy. Like,
I mean,
you don't have what?
look, mom, no, no skinning.
You don't have to like weight paint and stuff.
No, no.
That's magic.
Well, it's kind of obvious thing that we used to have. It was there all the time, but for us, it's kind of a little bit, you know, um, I feel ashamed that we're doing this thing
That's
because
crazy.
I mean we want it to be simulated. I mean the like real-time simulation of the clothes, but here we just glue it to the body basically, and we morph it with the body. That's all.
Yeah. And we'll talk about simulation here. So go ahead and save this just in
Yeah.
case it crashes. Yeah, we'll talk about
No, it
simulation.
was. That's okay. That's okay. Let it crash now. I'm not afraid. Anyway, so what? So I'm so happy I can show you this fun stuff. All right, let's go back to our fitting pose because we need to put other garments as well. All right, sweet. We have our pants. What bugs me all the time that all this collapsed trees, every time I change something, it will expand. And if anybody knows how to keep it collapsed, that would be great. All right, so we have our pens. And actually, at this point, it might be a good idea to edit. Click Edit and open Draper Editor. Okay, so now we have our JC character and we have the pens and we have all the materials. Actually, again, my bad. I skip it, skip. um, I jump through this step. I specify different materials for different parts if I want to modify them later on. So for these pens, I have, this is main fabric called pen, and you can see it like this. So now we can control the material. So I just turn the texture off and on, and here you can do this stuff, or you can actually load your own texture, but we'll keep the one that we exported with Marvelous. Normal, let's load the normal map, this one. Okay. And also pay attention that there is UV, and by default, it gives 10 millimeters. That's why we need this texture to be fit in the first quadrant. And this is the scale. It might not be visible well, but okay. Can you see it? Can you see um, the stitches?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So instead of using OBJ or 3D models for each stitch, it's just texture baked into the uh,
Honestly,
diffuse
that
map.
looks good for me.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, super. Now, so yeah, so I have different materials for waistband, for flaps on the side, and I'll explain later why, and for pockets as well, and even for fly. And we can modify these materials separately, but uh, I'm doing it for thickness actually. Okay, because we already exported this model as a thick model, right? So remember when we did this file export obj, let's do something again, test. Just remember I selected thick, right? So it already comes like thick fabric, but later on we'll export another option with thin. And when it's thin, you can actually go ahead and change thickness here. And I'll show you when it might be useful. All right, let's proceed with other garments. So we have our pants. Now let's go ahead with belt. Here I have my belt, and I guess that's the one I would like to have. Okay, and again, compress, switch this on. It's okay. Can we see it anywhere? No. Why? That's funny. Where's my belt?
Did it export? Maybe it's just a different
Uh,
file.
no, wait a minute.
You can
I
skip the
don't know.
belt. I don't wear belts.
No, 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 no. That's not right. I want my belt. Okay, let's check it out. Try another one. maybe I choose the wrong one. Let's try this one. Okay, compress, belt to import. Yeah, here it is. I selected wrong obj file. All right, cool. Now with pens, let's enable our pens. All right, everything so far so good. Don't worry about these issues. We'll resolve them as well. So with the belt, again, I want it to be wrapped, so I need to save it. And we go to here. All right. So there is one thing here that actually in thickness, and it's called offset. And offset is a position offset, world position offset. What it does, it moves, this geometry toward the camera. So if I make it 0, it can go inside. And for waistband, maybe for waistband I'll put 0 as well. So here, it's almost correct. And for belt, let's add a little offset, maybe 0.5. No, too much. Mm. Anyway, we shouldn't worry about it. So this is how it's supposed to be.
Hey Lenny, question real quick. Are the
Yes.
imported files in the content browser or are they hidden in a plugin?
Mm, you mean they're here? No,
So
they're
they're
not
they're in
on
your
the browser.
drive then, right?
They are on your drive, and whenever you save it, wherever you save it. Not that one. Here. Okay. So when you import it, there is a place where you specify a location where you want to save this imported file. So they convert it in our YouDraper format. Okay. So the answer is not. They are not in your content browser. All right. Let's move on. So with this belt, so this is your belt material, which is, looks a little bit supposed to be leather, but it doesn't look like leather. And that's why actually it might be a good idea to keep the original files with roughness and everything else. Or you can override this material, use another leather. Um, so you see there is normal texture, but I don't like this texture. Let's see. No, you see it's almost empty. So instead of using this kind of baked texture, let's try to open the one that I saved. Let's see, belt. Do we have it here? No. This one, I think. And it's probably DDS format. Yes. So these are, maps that come with this model, but it's not exporting them correctly. So we can go ahead and select it ourselves. So this is our normal map. And then we can also add some roughness. Again, it's DDS. DDS. Leather roughness. Okay. So now we're getting some structure here. Okay, better now. And normal map, we can make it stronger, right? Okay. And don't forget your UV scale. It's fabric transforms, and you can go like, adjust a little bit the scaling, maybe like this. And to make it look like a leather, you do it with Fresnel. So for instance, you can make fast power and invert Fresnel power -2. that would look more like leather, right? So you can play with this or create your own material and override it here. All right, another example. So this one is a buckle, and there is not much here, but we want it to be more kind of metallic looking. So let's add some metallic here. Roughness, remove roughness.
Hey, are you allowed to? Are you able to edit it like a master material, the master material, or is it just doing it this way?
Well, okay, well, you can do it both ways. So we have our own materials kind of controls here. So you can do metallic, blah, 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 even emissive materials. So it will be glowing in the dark. Or you can override and add your own material here. So if you drop your native Unreal Engine material here and select override, you will use your material. It's a separate tutorial to talk about it. I have a video and a page on our website about it. All right, so is it metallic enough for us? Maybe make it even more like this. All right, I think it's good enough. Again, don't forget to save because otherwise you may lose your settings. Save this one. They have this cheating piece of uh, fabric belt to delete. It's actually, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's a black material here. It connects these two parts of the belt. It should be invisible. So we can make it invisible as well. All we need to do is to go to alpha and opacity to 0. Boom. See? So it's masked material with 0 opacity. So it's invisible. Beautiful. All right. Now, a final thing to pay attention with this, pants and the belt is their relationship. So we want to have pants closer to the body than the belt. And for this reason, first we have pants in this list, and then we have the belt. I can change the order like this, and you see we have a little messy issue here. So again, it is done with world position offset. It can be controlled with offset in your materials here with thickness, this offset. But in general, this order adds offset. So if you have like pants first, okay, and belt second, it adds an offset to the belt. So I again have some issue here. Let's see, 0. Ah, for the waistband, I also have offset, so I'll put it 0. Boom, everything's okay, and I forgot to save it now. It's time to save. Perfect. All right, let's proceed with other stuff. Let's do the shirt. Um, all right, somebody gave me a Coke. Okay, so we're importing the shirt now. No stitches for now. Again, we want to put it like this, and I'll create another folder. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. What should be on top and what should be underneath. So shirt should be obviously underneath the pants. It should be tucked. So I'm going to position it like this. All right. And notice that I already kind of simplified. I'm not just removed the stitches. I also removed all the buttons and whatever else is there, because it will be under the vest, and we don't need it. I mean, why, you know, have more triangles than necessary, right? Again, we can mess with different materials, but here I have only one material for now. All right, let's proceed. Next, we want to import the tie. Did I save it? No, I didn't save it. Let's save it, and it's wrapped now. Go further with the tie, necktie, this one, compress, boom, 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 necktie 2, import. Okay, nice. Again, save it. Sometimes it needs to be reload, but it looks okay so far. So this small kind of crossing, again, because of world position offset, and we'll take care of it maybe later if necessary. And finally, we need to import the vest. I don't remember which one was it. This one, the last one. All right. And again, save it to enable wrapping, reload just in case. Okay, so let's see. Necktie. We want it to go down underneath. So we want to go ahead and put maybe offset to 0. Boom, gone. Save it. All right, so that's kind of first iteration. Any questions so far?
Nope, not that I see, man.
Okay. People are bored?
No, just one guy.
No.
Style. I think
What?
his name is Style Marshall. He said he's bored.
All right. Well, he knows it.
I'm just joking.
No, no. I assume he's bored because he knows it pretty well. Okay. Now, um, where's our animation? So I created here some sequence. Let's open it. All right. So we have some motion here for our guy. So some animation, facial animation. Everything's okay. And we can turn the camera on.
So show us real quick. You just pretty much drag and drop the blueprint, and everything just comes with it, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Okay,
Okay.
cool, cool.
Let, I mean, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it's kind
Expand
of
that one right there. Yeah.
okay. It's kind of obvious, but let's do it because some people sometimes asking how to create.
Right, right, right.
No,
If
I don't
if it's
know.
not too much.
No, of course. I mean, I can talk as long as you want. It's your time. All right. So what do we want here? We want add level sequence. Save it somewhere. Sequence. Police. No, police. 102, whatever. Save. And then we just drag and drop our policeman here. We don't need control reads. I'll expand the timeline 1, 3, something like that. Should be enough. And then we add animations. What kind of animation? Maybe belly dancing? Yeah,
Yeah, start with
belly
something
dancing.
easy. Belly dancing should be good.
Yeah, so as you can see now, the, everything moves with the body.
I know. I know somebody who dances just like that. His name is Rudy. That
All right,
that
so
looks pretty good, dude.
uh, okay, so we can hit play and he will dance. All right, that's all. That's all it takes. And then you add more stuff here, your camera, and the other animations, your face animation, and so on. And so let's go back to our previous animation, open animation sequence. So I set up a whole bunch of different kind of animations, walking, breakdance, and so on. So, walking, dancing, pistol, like this. All right, and we don't even need, because we disabled all the close simulation here, uh, there is no need for us to play this level. We just click here and it goes. All right, that's all what it takes. Now, I created a video using a movie render queue. And what I like to do, and I need to give you heads up, guys, because Unreal Engine 5, they're using this temporal anti-aliasing, and our clothes looks a little blurry, and sometimes really, really blurry. So for that reason, when you want to record good quality video, I usually go and add anti-aliasing, and I specify 8 here and specify override. Temporal sample, I've seen some tutorials that recommend to use more like a temporal sample count. I must say you guys that this algorithm is thinking of its own. So we found out that better to keep temporal sample count 1 and play with spatial sample count.
Hey, I got a question.
Yes. Yes.
In the future, will YouDraper work, say, for like a like a third person character kind of game, kind of thing? Would that work? Say if you want to use YouDraper clothes to for a game or something. Is that
Right.
something that you're
Well,
looking
of
into?
course. No, 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 no. Well, okay. Let's. There are two issues here. One is we're talking now about video recording, right? And for video recording, you want best quality
Yes.
because it's not real time, of
Right.
course. Uh, so let's. But for real time, like you can, click play here, or you can go ahead and like do standalone game, but you're still doing it within Unreal Engine editor. Okay, there is no standalone application. You can't build standalone application. We disabled packaging, and it's done for few very specific reasons.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Okay, so it's for now. It's not for gaming. I mean, you can build your new game with these clothes. We just prohibit it. There are reasons for that, and we can discuss it separately.
I got you. We can just blame Style Marshall. I think we can all agree.
Well, but you can play it like on your computer, and for example, specify in here. You can go to your maps and specify your game default map, and actually start playing it without launching your
Yeah.
editor,
Yeah. Just you
and it
just can't package it. Is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Because there are many reasons we can discuss separately
No, that's all
these
good.
reasons.
We'll just blame it on Style
Okay,
Marshall. We're good.
okay, 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 okay. All right. So back to our movie render queue and anti-aliasing. So this will give you much better quality without blur. Everything's fine, and I mean I already created a bunch of videos. You saw them. Let's open them and see. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. So city sample, saved, movie render. Okay, so you will get all bunch of these uh, frames, and you will put them together in other program like Adobe Premiere. Everything will be fine. What I found out that with this movie render queue, and especially with this anti-aliasing, if you don't use anti-aliasing, it probably will be fine. But with anti-aliasing, I noticed that sometimes, you know, the sync not working properly, especially when you have your um, animations built from different pieces. So sometimes I notice that it's the sync goes off,
Hey
and this
Lenny, can
anti-aliasing,
you
yeah.
switch off motion blur real quick just to see what it looks like without in your project settings?
I already did it. I
Oh,
mean,
you did? Oh, I gotcha, I gotcha.
I mean, I already experimented with this,
Yeah, I think they just
and
wanted to see what it looks like without the motion blur. Because with the internet, I guess it's, making it
yeah,
blurry.
you see, it's zero. It's
I
zero.
gotcha.
It's the blur is because of this temporal anti-aliasing, and in normal circumstances,
Yeah,
you pretty much know where your pixel will be. But
yeah.
with closed simulation, you don't know where your pixel will be, and it creates this blur.
Right,
If
right,
you
right.
switch, if you switch to anti-aliasing, if you switch to FXAA, it gives you less blur, but it will give you some jittering of pixel jittering. So in the video that I made for this Matrix City with Harley Quinn, first part I was recording it live, like screen capture with uh, temporal anti-aliasing, and second part where I have too many small bits and pieces moving, I switched to FXAA. But it was like real-time screen capture. Anyway, so what are we talking about here? Yeah, right. Okay. So problem with wrapping without simulation. Let's take a look here. So as you notice, Jay, you may have, and probably you will have some artifacts and not kind of natural behavior of the clothes when the clothes moving too far from from its original position, right?
Right, right. Because it's just wrapped to the body, right?
Exactly, exactly. So it may not be natural, and same will be with the pants if he will start moving his legs. It
Yeah,
might
yeah,
not, if it might not be visible for this suit, but for some others it will be visible. So
yeah,
again, I recommend to use your creativity based on what kind of clothes you're using, what kind of animation you're going to use, and in some cases you actually can combine both. And what I did in the last video that I showed you, I modified this clothes in order to make them actually simulated. And in order to do that, well, let's go there. And I think we are getting closer to conclusion of this lecture. So let's open project. So for instance, for the shirt, project, I think it's this one. So again, for the shirt, I removed all these buttons. I don't need them. And then I exported this shirt, not for wrapping, but for clothes simulation. And we have this tutorial how to do it. So let me see.
You have it in your channel for a
Yes.
simulated one. Cool.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
wait, wait,
Yep.
wait. Was that Cyberpunk girl? that you did recently, was that simulated or was that
No,
wrapped?
it
Okay,
was
Roger,
wrapped.
gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha, gotcha.
Okay, let's see. Let's take a look. Right. So these two are recent one. No simulation, just wrapping.
Got it.
And this one, the first one, Marvelous Designer to Unreal with simulation. This one was part two.
Gotcha. So
All right.
it's just a little bit different if you want to simulate your clothes, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes, yes. So for in order to simulate the clothes, you don't care anymore. However, no, hold on, hold on, hold on. So let's be, you know, consistent and look at all these things. Again, let's take a look at fabrics. And here we have properties. So originally it was just one shirt, so one fabric for everything. But I know that main part of the shirt will be under the vest, and I don't care if it moves or not. I'd rather actually to stick it to the body. So these parts will be material shirt. Now I want the sleeve to actually move in case there is some arm bending, arm lifting. So I want it, I don't want them to be glued to the body. So I create the sleeves, a separate material, and assign these sleeves to this material. So if I select this sleeves, I go here. Where is it? Probably because I selected a line like this. And here, fabric sleeves. So I assign for both these sleeves different materials. I also created separate material for cuffs because cuffs are usually easily uh, teared away if you move your arms too fast. So I want them to be bound pretty well. And I also create a color as a separate material. I don't remember why. Probably because to add additional thickness. Yes, I think for that reason. So yeah, create additional materials for the parts you want to modify later on in Unreal Engine. That's the point I'm trying to make before you exporting it. Okay, and then I export as obj. Let's put it go shirt, shirt, thin, sim for simulation, whatever. And now again, I turn off avatar. We don't want it. And I also don't need anything, maybe except the graphics and what else? Not trim. I think graphics will give us these logos or print overlays. And I select thin material. That's important. And weld. And one we export with unified coordinates, and we want to export this thing, okay, into zip file, okay. Okay, and in order to have the simulation data, we also need to export another option, UV editor, and reset it to 2D arrangement. So we basically will take the measurement of the patterns from this UV map. So we're using two exports. File, export, obj, and I call it patterns. Let's call it patterns 2. And we don't need anything at all. We just want to make sure single weld, no graphics required. Oops. And unify UV coordinates, but we turn this off. And we don't need any zip file. Okay. So this way we can import. Okay, let me close this guy. Huh? What's going on here? This is funny, but that's okay, I guess. I will click reload. It will show. Let's reload everything. Okay. So instead of this shirt, I want to import the new one with enabled simulation. Shirt. Ah, sorry. We need to unzip it first. I think it's that one. All right. And then, because we want to have this information about the patterns, we select, come on, this pattern. And again, compress. We don't check disable close simulation because we actually want the close simulation. Skip validation is not necessary because it's from Marvelous. It's fine. Unreferenced materials probably, I don't know, probably it should be fine. So if we didn't make any mistake with UV map or anything, everything should be fine. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the body. And instead of custom mode, we need to animation asset fitting pose. Looks okay. All right, so now we have our new shirt imported. This is our shirt. And again, we want to save it. So when we save it, we wrap it, right? Wrapping is on. So now it remembers its position on the avatar's body. And now we go, let's see what we want to do with these materials. So let's start with the shirt main fabric, which is inside, everything inside. And I don't want it to move at all because if it'll start moving, it will, you know, go through the um, pants and everything. And I don't want it. I want it to be bound to the body. So we go to physical properties and tolerance, let's say, I don't know, 22. 22 millimeters tolerance means that everything that closer to the body than 22 millimeters will be bound. And I think it's a good chance that most of the shirt inside the vest and pants will be bound. And I don't want it to move at all. So stiffness is 1, meaning that it will be, you know, solid, glued very well to the body. Not moving at all. And save it. So did I change anything here? Yeah, save. Next, sleeves. Sleeves I want to move, but I don't want them to be ripped or anything. So for sleeves, we can again select maybe 22 tolerance, but I want it to move a little bit, all kind of mid-range. I don't know, 66 millimeter motion, maybe even more, maybe 99, who cares? And stiffness, let's make it 0.4. So it will move, but not too much. And save. Good. Now, cuffs. Again, I think 22 millimeters would be enough. Cuffs, you can move them a little bit. Again, I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, you can do whatever you like. How much cuffs can move? 55 millimeters. Let them move. And 0.5 stiffness. So move a little, but not too much. So to prevent in case uh, some fast motions or something may try to tear it away, we kind of ensure that it won't happen here. Again, safe. Now, another thing, since we're here, we can actually add fabric thickness. By default, it's 1 millimeter, but cuffs can be thicker. Why not to make them 3 millimeter? See the thickness increased. And the bias, I usually use half of the thickness. Okay, save it. And last but not least, the color. Also, maybe a little bit thicker. I don't know, 2 millimeters. And we actually can add bias more aggressive like this. So the tie will be underneath of it. I don't know. Again, this is something open to experimentation. You can experiment with this. And I don't want it to move much, so I'll add 44 millimeters tolerance. And I don't want it to move at all. Stiffness 1 will prevent it from movement. Save. All right. By the way, let's check the FPS. It's not that bad, considering that I'm sharing my screen, so it's not bad. All right, so now we can try to simulate. It will take a while. Um, for some reason, when I first start the project and do the first simulation, because it's a huge project, I don't know, it's thinking too long. So if there is any questions so far, guys.
Um, just why. Somebody asked why you can't use it in a package game, but you said there's like a lot of reasons, right?
Well, it's actually not, okay, there are several things. In order to package games, we need to give you all our C++ codes, and we don't want to do that. All right? That's reason number one. I think it's the main reason. For those who actually pretty serious about creating their own standalone solution, uh, you know, reach out to us and we discuss how it can be done. That's the reason number one. Reason number two, what kind of game you're going to do, because this simulation requires NVIDIA high-end GPUs and Windows, so it's not going to work on any mobile platform or any consoles, right? So it's just for PC with high-end GPU. So the market for games like that would be relatively small. So I'm not sure that, but if this wrapping and automatic skinning feature will find the users, we can consider that that can be like a separate, completely separate project, separate plugin without closed simulation. Doesn't won't require high-end GPUs, so that might be different project. But again, as I said, there is quite a bit of room of improvement here. Okay, so we're running our simulation now. Let's go ahead and check it out. Grab, come on, can't grab it. Why? Huh, my idea was material editor. Why can't I grab it? Let's stop for a sec. Let me see what's going on here. Mode is fine. I know why. Because we forgot to turn the simulation on. Let's see, shirt. Yes. So from the previous short that we didn't simulate, this one is off. So we need to turn the simulation on. Okay. Let's try now. Save it, just in case. Okay. Second time it should start faster. Okay. And check it out. Can you see that I'm moving my shirt? Everybody's happy.
Yeah, I can
So
see it.
this time, yeah. So this time when we start animate this character, the sleeves will be moving, and you won't see um, much artifacts because of just pure wrapping. And look, we still have some mobility for the cuffs, but even if I try to like really hard to move it, it will snap back to its original position. And that's how binding is working. So let me see. This is my shirt cuffs. Okay. So I can actually, if I decrease the stiffness, now you see that I can really destroy it without uh, without binding. But if I'll increase, it will supposed to come back. Let's see if it will. Yeah.
That looks awesome, man. Will that work in that same like animation that you had in the sequencer as well? It would. It would.
Yes. Yes. Of course. Of course. Of course. So now, I mean, we can stop it now.
Yeah,
Open
I'm
out.
just trying to break your computer.
Okay. Go ahead. Break it. Okay. This is our sequence. But in order for us to enable this simulation, we need to first start the simulation, right? Simulation started, and you saw, few, I don't know, milliseconds that clothes get to the body. Let me go closer, and we can. Um, but you see, the uh, FPS still quite low.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you render this out, it's going to be simulated. And really, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, for me, that's all that matters. I don't have to see the animation in the editor, you know?
Right. Okay. So yeah. But we still can play it. It will work. I mean, the guy. Let's go back a little bit. So he will be dancing and moving his arms. I have an option also to do the same for the pants.
Right.
So we can export the pants as well as a thin fabric, configure the material so the belt will stay in place, but the rest of the pants will move.
Like how he's smiling as he pulls his weapons out. Nah, dude, Lenny, that looks incredible, man. And I know we talk about sim versus not sim, and really it's just a matter of preference. Because to be honest, with if you're making a movie where people just talk and walk and sit, you don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to sim it. Because to me, whenever you watch a movie, I don't think people go watch it and look at the clothes move. You know, like oh, whoa, it's simulated. People are still interested about the story and stuff, but I know some people really like simulated stuff, so that's why I wanted to show both ways. Cause yeah, that looks really good, man. For considering you didn't have to do any skinning or weight painting, nothing like that. That looks incredible.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I mean, you guys, we can talk forever, all night long, but
Yeah,
I
I
guess
got a question
this will,
from I got a
yes,
question from Style Marshall real quick. Can you swap YouDraper cloth in sequencer?
yes, of course.
What is it? Oh, like
Uh,
just changing the outfit completely?
okay, I owe Style Marshall a tutorial
Yeah,
how to do it.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. If you're gonna make a
No,
tutorial
no, no.
later, that's fine.
I'm, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. Let me show you. I'll be happy to do it. I'm just thinking where would be the best way to do it.
And yeah, I agree. Dresses obviously have, if you have a lot of dresses, then yeah, that makes sense to simulate those.
Okay, I'm just thinking what would be the best way to do it. Anyway, so the point is, here's how the main approach is like this. We're going to, so here's our character. Right click, no, plus track, and you see all our garments here. Pants, vest. So I added track for vest. We can add a track for all other garments. Let me see, for example, um, what do we want to change? Shirt, whatever, right? And then you add an event track trigger. Then, actually, I have it somewhere, but okay, let's do it. All right, so we add these tracks. Wonderful. Then we also can add the track for Draper simulation and also add an event trigger. And at certain point, you want to change something. So for example, here I want to change or even disable this garment. So we add the events here. And then in Draper simulation, just the next frame. So one frame we do something, we change the garment, we enable, disable it, right? And then we just need to go to the next frame and add Draper simulation event to reload. Okay. Now we need to configure these events. And right now it's unbound, and we go quick bind what we want to do. We want to reset. Yay, we have reset. When you click reset or whatever, you add an event, it will open you this um, director blueprint. Just shows it to you. Actually, I forgot already um, how to do it more elegant in more elegant way. So you actually can now use this event, call it somehow. Let's call it um, I don't know, garment event, because each time we create a new event, you will get a mess of all these events in this blueprint, and it becomes messy. So we just will reuse this event, garment event. Okay, save, compile. Now here, properties. But instead of creating a new event, we will try to use this garment event. Um, mm, this sequence. No. Mm, hmm, okay, let's see. Director's blueprint, garment event here. This is our garment event, correct? What about this one? Property, bind. Why can't I see it? Okay, forget about it. Just let's do it. Let's do reset again. Reset. It will create another one. I'm sure there is a way to use the same. Sorry about that, guys. Probably I missed something. So it will create another event here. All right, save. Doesn't matter. And this one we need to call reload. So again, it creates it in Blueprint. Save. Now we need to change. If you want to change the garment here, you need to specify the new folder where you have your new garment. Unfortunately, Unreal, if you click here, it won't do anything. So unfortunately, you need to go to your folders and find your garments. Let's see. I might have something here. 3D garment, and here's another jacket. Okay, and I copy. Oh, sorry. Okay, I need to copy this folder. Go back here. Let's edit here. Okay, nice. Okay, so what's going to happen is that vest will be changed to this new jacket at this point. But for the shirt, Style Marshal asked me, how can we disable it? Let's disable it. Look at this, all this new, no simulate. Nice, nice stuff. Disable. All right. So what's going to happen when we come to this point? The shirt will be disabled and vest will be changed to another jacket. Okay, let's try it. But we need to start the simulation. So I think that's okay. Okay, let's try. And what is going on? Okay, all is great. Okay, let's get a little bit closer. And let's click play and see what happens when we pass this event. All right. So my jacket that I wanted to put has incompatible UV map, but let's try to do it like this. I don't know what gonna happen. Nothing happens. Oh, okay. That's bad. But so we need to be more careful what kind of garment we want to put there. But you guys, I believe you got the idea. So let's start over. So I don't want to change the garment, but I, for example, can disable it. And I will clean this one up. I mean, everything is clear, I believe, for Style Marshal should be. But if you guys want, I can create very quickly another garment so we can really switch them quickly. It's awfully quiet out there. What's going on?
No, yeah, you're good. I mean, Style, do you still need? Hang on. Um, oh, he said you can cache the YouDraper simulation so you get better
Yes,
performance.
yes, you
Can you
can.
show
Sure.
is it possible to show that real quick how to do
Yes,
that?
of course. Of course.
Yeah, sorry, I'm lagging here.
Actually, I think my Unreal is dying and I may crash any moment.
Oh, that's something new.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead and control delete, and I'll talk a little bit here. But oh, there it goes. It's back. No,
No.
okay.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. So again, the YouDraper stuff. Why I'm interested in it is I don't know it's gonna be possible because I think Lenny, how big is your team? Like you have one cloth maker, you said, right?
Yeah, we have one
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah.
We have 2 or 3 developers,
That's crazy.
coders.
So it's a small team, right? But really, what
It is.
and I talked to you about, I think it would be cool to have pre-made, high quality clothes that people can purchase a la carte while using YouDraper, because at the end of the day, it's gonna save you time and it's gonna save you money, right? So it's gonna save you marvelous design license or Clo or whatever. Because right now, the pre-made assets you have, clothes you have in YouDraper, you don't need to use Marvelous, correct? Do you
Um,
still need
oh,
Marvelous to use the one that you have already in there?
no.
Okay.
Well, so you don't need Marvelous. You're getting this 3D Draper,
Yeah, you have that
and
application.
yeah,
Right. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and
exactly.
you can modify it there. Let me close Marvelous. But of course, if you purchasing ready-to-wear garments from, say, ArtStation or elsewhere, and you want to refit it on your MetaHuman character, then you need Marvelous for sure.
Exactly, yeah. So again, and it was the question that I wanted to ask people if they would be interested in that, for you, Draper, to have pre-made clothes that they can purchase for MetaHumans. Because, like I talked to you about, it's been a year, I think, since the MetaHuman creator first came out. And honestly, the only thing they added on there was the shorts. So again, I don't think they're gonna be adding any clothes there anytime soon. And honestly, mainstream is starting to use metahumans. Eventually, here, actually, you're starting to see them now being used a lot more. And one of the most frustrating things about using it is just a lack of clothes. Like I can recognize. I saw a commercial the other day. They're wearing the hoodie from the MetaHuman creator. So again, I think I'm not alone when I say that it would be cool. I would honestly pay, like per outfit to use YouDraper and
Mm,
with MetaHuman. And again, that's what I wanted to ask people.
right. Well, of course, guys, give us your feedback. But as you can see, uh, you can buy some cool stuff from ArtStation and refit it using Marvelous Designer. And actually, Marvelous Designer dropped the annual subscription significantly. So you can like 40% off if you buy it for a year.
Yeah, and again, I think this is still the fastest way to get high quality marvelous designer onto your MetaHuman.
Hmm.
I think so. Rudy is here and Styles here. They have, I think they've been doing it, I think, the long way. So I want to know their opinion because I think it's faster doing it this way. Obviously, there's still limitations when it comes to what kind of outfit you can use because we talked about if you want it, fitted, you want some, pretty fit outfit. But if you want it simulated, you just have to be smart on the kind of clothing you get. But overall, I think it is the fastest way, to be honest. Watching you do it right now, not having to do any weight paints or anything like that, it's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Well, actually, funny thing about painting. Um, I, g- I don't know if Faraday, are you there? I'm not sure. Maybe you're there. You asked me about how to add like a handkerchief hanging from the pants, like from the pocket, and I have an idea how to do it, but maybe I'm a little bit too tired to show it right now, but it's doable as well. So it just be a little bit creative. There are many different possibilities, and once you get a hold of them, and you know what kind of effect you want to achieve, you can be a little bit creative and cheat a little bit here and there and get the results you want. So in this video, I don't know if you guys saw it with the two kind of warriors fighting with swords. And actually, I was using simulation cache here. And we have this tutorial written on one of the pages, but this is how it's done. Okay, so first I get my one of my character and I create. I don't care about cameras or lights, anything. All I need is just to configure his outfit, and then I create the sequence and I put his animation here. And again, I add for the bottom a track for a bottom and for the top. So we have here his pants and his jacket. And I add event track, another one event track here. And at the beginning of the sequence, I add an event. And this event, let's make another one just to demonstrate. Okay,
So are you
properties.
showing right now how to cache the?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes. Okay, so here I just type cache. So it creates this event. All right, and so basically I start caching at the beginning, at the very first frame, and we don't need this one. I just showed you how to do it. And the last one, if you go to the end where you want to stop your caching, the guy is dead. Um, and again, you just add another caching event. The difference between these two, that at the beginning you specify the folder where you want to store your cache, and at the end you leave it empty. So it's the same kind of event, but if we see that there is a folder specified for this event, it will start caching into this folder. If the folder is empty, it stops caching. And another important thing is that you should have your bottom enabled. Simulation should be enabled. So first, for the first time, when you want to cache it, actually, you turn the simulation on for one garment, and let's see where's another one. Bottom, and there's top, and you turn the simulation on. All right. So this time we just record this simulation with simple, simple rendering. You can use the smallest possible resolution and you just capture movie. And what will happen, it will cache everything into the folder that you specify here. And the same approach, if you just didn't specify anything else, it will put it into the uh, garment folder. So let's see. So this is my jacket that I tried to put on our policeman, but it didn't fit because it's a different character. So this is my jacket, and this is the folder inside. So if I didn't specify any different path to this caching folder, it will save it into this garment folder. And this is how it looks like. So these are the frames with our cache.
So basically, what that's doing is gonna once you cache it, it's gonna give you a better performance when playing it back, right?
Yep,
Got
absolutely.
it.
So now, okay, so this way, once you record your movie with absolutely no regard to cameras, lights, resolution, nothing, you just play it with your. By the way, um, the only one thing is to be aware when you do caching is to remember that everything should be in sync. So if you're doing like 60 FPS, work with 60 FPS or 30 FPS, obviously it will create you a certain amount of frames, right? So if you will create your cache with 30 FPS but want to, then I don't know, do 25 or 24 FPS your movie, it's not a good idea. Do the same uh, or at least it should be even. Like for example, I cache this sequence with 60 FPS, but the final movie I want like slow motion, so I selected 120 FPS for the final. That will work fine. But you understand, right? 60, 120, it's okay. But say 30 and 25 is not okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, so be aware about sync. Even smallest out of sync thing. Like for example, some people uh, had issue like if you just move it like this, that would be bad because it actually start simulating from the very beginning of this camera cuts. So it will miss your starting event for caching. So be careful about it. It should be all in perfect sync. Okay.
All right, man, that's pretty
Uh,
cool. Caching
uh,
rules. Yeah.
okay. Couple of more things. So this way you record your cache, but then to play it, you go to your garment and you turn the simulation off. And another one for the top to turn simulation off. So when the sequence has these caching events, when simulation is on, it stores the cache. When simulation is off, it tries to play it back. Okay, so then so this way you kind of create your cache, then you go to your main scene, Berlin Cave map. This is my main scene. Ah, thank you very much. It's not me.
That's weird. I haven't seen that.
Uh,
What
no,
was
it happens. It happens. It happens, especially when you have some sequence open. Sometimes it happens. So, okay, so you record the cache for one character, you record the cache for another character, then you create your beautiful scene with all the lights and all the cameras, and then let's open it. And then you basically add, come on, add your sequences and specify cache to play back without simulation anymore. All right, so let's see, where is this? I have a bunch of different sequences. Here's my avatar, and I have my,
Hey
you
Lenny,
know,
I got a question for you.
yeah,
Somebody's asking,
yeah.
Spencer's asking, what happens if there's no simulation? Does the garment still get driven by the skeleton? It should, right?
Well, if you have, that's actually what we started with.
Yeah,
If there is
exactly,
no,
right.
if there is no simulation and there is no
It's
cache,
just wrapped.
it will be, it will be, based on wrapping, of course.
Gotcha.
But
Cool.
if you have cache, it will play the cache back.
Yeah, I don't have any cash. I'm broke.
Okay, too bad. All right, guys. Any other questions? I think we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I was talking for 2 hours straight.
that's awesome. It didn't even feel like it, man.
Okay.
But yeah, so honestly, if you ever want to come back and demonstrate some other stuff, just let me know cuz like I said, I really just want to put this out to everyone cuz I think it is the easiest way. Honestly, if you've been with me for a while in the channel, I don't really do this a lot as far as trying to have people kind of show y'all their product. I'm pretty picky when it comes to that, but Draper I think is a very very powerful tool that you can use to customize your metahumans because that's honestly probably one of the questions most question type of question I get is how can I customize clothes for a metahuman. And I know a lot of people kind of do it differently, simulating in Marvelous Design and then doing Alembic import, which is, man, that process right there is insane. So it's obviously good to simulate Alembic, right? Because it's pretty good quality. But again, some
Hmm.
people really can't afford. They don't have the time and the money to do that. So again, I think
Hmm.
Draper. I think that's where Draper kind of comes in. Is it's it you can get some pretty good results as you saw right now, with minimum effort. So, but yeah, if y'all don't have any more questions, Lenny, do you want to give them your go ahead and go to your page so they can see your email address? Because like I said, I'm really curious to see if people are going to be interested in, getting more clothes in their pre-made for Draper. Just
Right.
just pull up your website so they can see where it is, and I'll put it in the description as well. But yeah, thank you
Okay.
all for hanging out with us, man. I know I don't really
Yeah.
do it.
Oh,
I don't do it
how
this
many
this much.
how many people are there?
We had one time at like 50, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
the last one I
Wow.
saw.
Cool.
But yeah, and
All right.
yeah,
So yeah, contact us here, or our other site is Trymere, old one. Um, Also contact us, you know, or actually Trymere YouTube.
yeah. Check out their YouTube as well. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff in there. Style Marshall also, his channel that he's using right there. That dude, he's using YouDraper as well.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I'm gonna go get some dinner. Thank you for coming, and thank you for everyone who
Yeah.
attended. I
Jay,
appreciate it.
thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much. It
No,
was a
man.
lot of fun, especially preparing this policeman suit.
Yeah,
And I will share it with you for sure, and
yeah,
we'll do other stuff as well.
yeah. You
Thank.
you got that
Okay.
list.
All right.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in. I'll see y'all later.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye
Bye.
bye.